Hi everybody and welcome to this year's festive home tour. First of all, I'm just going to take you through this gorgeous jumper that I'm wearing. I'm so pleased to have this. Now, anybody who knows me knows I love a houndstooth, and look at this gold detailing buttons, the buttons on the arm, and the gold button detail, I think also on the shoulders, which makes it look so elegant. This is from one of my newest favorite brands, Holland and Cooper. Thank you so much. I love this jumper. I also really love that it's a little bit wide, good for those Christmas moments when you've had maybe a bit too much to eat. Anyway, getting on to the home tour, let me take you first around the florals. And the florals made such a big impact in the house this year because, you know, usually I do all of the florals myself. This year has been so busy, and I have been very blessed and lucky to have Neil Strain come in and agree to do all of the house and really all the main areas that I think I would have really struggled with on my own. So they've done this beautiful garland on the stairs, and rather than do one on the handrail, I've done it as a sort of floor garland just up half of the staircase, so it doesn't go all the way up, so it doesn't look too much because I don't have a huge house. And then on the fireplace, the fire surround, I always find really tricky to do a garland on. First of all, my fire surround isn't very wide, so I've got quite a skinny area within which to be able to decorate. And so when they came in, I was just blown away by what they did on the fireplace area. I also love the theme of what we did everywhere. So, you know, this year I wanted to keep it really neutral, a really classic kind of Christmas, so that I could punch in colors when I needed to, but, you know, just keep it really neutral and flowing throughout November and December so that it felt festive enough, but not too over the top, so that if I did happen to keep anything up in January, then it wouldn't feel so bad. So I love that look. It's really worked. And not only did they do the fireplace area and the staircase, they then went on to decorate different areas of the house, which I love because all the different zoned areas sort of give a nod to those big floral displays in the entrance on the stairs and in the fireplace. So as you can see, just by me here, there's another beautiful floral display that they've done for me, and they've done this throughout the house. They're very festive displays, and you can see they've got these beautiful candles in the middle, and I think they are such a nice piece to have all around the home. They've done them for me in different sizes, and like I said, it just mirrors that whole floral theme throughout. So really pleased with that. On my dining table, I actually went with Paul Thomas. Now, they did a beautiful, rustic but elegant, chic floral display for me. Paul Thomas, I've been, you know, buying flowers for a long time, and they just did a spectacular job, as I would have expected them to do. So I was really pleased with the result there. You will see that the table has just come together in the most beautiful of ways, and I don't think that would have happened without them, so I'm really grateful. Okay, so let's start with the door. I always love to have a classic wreath, and part of me always wonders, you know, should I go all red? Should I go all green? Do I do a bright one this year? But last year I did decide that I wanted a more classic wreath. I've stuck to that this year. I bought something that would last me many years because it's actually made of dried flowers and plants, which I love because I definitely feel there's this less artificial look to it. And it's really beautiful, but of course I can use it every single year. Now, I looked at it this year and I thought, oh, should we change it? Should we have something new? But to be honest with you, it's so timeless, it's so classic. I loved it and I kept it up. And of course it does go with this really lovely neutral theme of mine. I've added some extra artificial stems, but overall I've kept that same look and I do really love it. This year I actually pulled off the lovely red ribbon and I tied it around the doorknob instead. So for my entrance area, now this isn't a big space, and I really do love to make it feel like, you know, it is a zoned space, so you don't just feel like you're walking into the living room. And the way I've done it is by having two consoles either side of the door, and on one console or above that console, I've got really beautiful kind of French rustic mirror that I've just leaned against the wall, and I've put this really lovely garland that has some really gorgeous pine cones on, and I use this every year depending on where I want it. You know, I might stick it in different places each year. This year, I have decorated the mirror with it, and I think it looks lovely. And I also then have some baubles that, you know, have lost their string added on there, some really gorgeous frames. This year again, I've gone for some different frames. I wanted to have something quite rustic and quite natural feeling, so I went for some new frames. I think we got some of them from next. But we've got, a mix of different frames around the house. I like to have something a bit less shiny for the festivities if I'm going for a more rustic look. Underneath my console, which is the perfect hiding place for my children's shoes, I always have 2 rattan baskets for the kids to just dump their shoes in when they come home. Of course, as life would have it, they don't always dump their shoes in there and they end up in different places, which is bizarre because those baskets are right by the door. But to make them look a bit more stylish and, not just filled with shoes, I often just have a really lovely throw that I place inside them so that it just looks quite warm and together. On the other side, I have my console where I have recently been gifted these absolutely stunning Tom Raffled sort of pots. They're ceramic pots with a leather detail as a handle, and they are just perfect. I have been looking for something for quite some time as a sort of phone holder so that people can come in when they come into the house and dump their phones in as soon as they walk in, so that we actually have some proper family time when everyone comes into the home. And I wanted something quite unique and quite elegant. These are an absolute beautiful set. I honestly think that Tom Raffled has done some exceptional quality goods, and he's a lovely British brand, so if you do get the chance to pop over to his site, then please do. Obviously, as we are walking through the living room, you are going to see the beautiful garland that Neil Strain has created for me. I could never have done this on my own, so this is one of those occasions where if you are going to get a florist to do, a garland for you, a stair area, a fireplace area, then, do branch out and do something a little bit different, because, otherwise you can buy something faux or try to create something yourself. But if you're going to have a specialist do it, then, you should go all out and get them to do something spectacular, which they absolutely have delivered on here. For my new sofa area, I was so nervous about this area until it actually arrived, and even then a little bit nervous. But we invested this year in a U-shaped sofa. Now, I very rarely change the actual big furniture pieces in my home, of course, because, you don't want to be changing your sofa very often. And there is nothing wrong with the other sofa that was there before. So I've actually put that into my bedroom now. So I've got sofa in my room rather than, just chuck it away. And the other one has gone to my sister. But this sofa I'd been thinking about for a long time, because, everybody wants this space in their home that is super, super comfortable. My children always love L shapes and U shapes in other people's homes. And I always feel a bit guilty for not delivering on that when they're in my house, because all our sofas are sort of very straight lined and very neat, let's put it that way. So I really wanted to invest in something, but I thought it absolutely wouldn't work in my home because, everything is quite structured and, yes, very family, but still, it is a design home, it's an interior design home. But I wanted my children to feel like, this year they got in there with their request and we made it happen. And it absolutely did. It really works well. That U-shape just feels, of course, massively comfortable, but also it feels really family-like. And because we've surrounded it against this really gorgeous fireplace, it feels like this one space in the home where we can really communicate without having this sort of central TV that distracts everybody. And it is now the very cozy family area that everybody jumps on and reads a story or, just sort of lies down on. And the fantastic thing, of course, about a sofa like this is that everybody can fit on there. The other thing that we did in that area, of course, because of this U-shape, was rather than have a big central coffee table, we've actually layered up this central area with a bench that we had there before and a sofa side table. So it's sort of one of those that pulls across the arm of the sofa. We've layered up the bench with the sofa side table and, of course, again, decorated with our Neil Strain flowers. It now really looks like this beautiful layering of textures and materials rather than just a standard coffee table. And I think if we'd have put a standard coffee table there, it might look a little bit too relaxed, but we've sort of almost formalized it with this extra layered area. Everybody knows that I love a good basket with a throw and a cushion in it, and this area is no exception. We have layered up the side of that sofa with a really lovely sort of burnt orange colored throw, and then we've done the same with the basket and stuck some burnt orange cushions in there and a throw. And this year, our new addition to all of the living room was these lovely ruffled striped cushions. Now, I love a good stripe, but I don't love a very slimline stripe. So I've always looked for, a big chunky stripe. And these AMUSE La Bouche cushions are fabulous. They have this really gorgeous ruffle to them. and I think they just really pull in that sort of green neutral Christmas theme. I love a stripe at Christmas, and I think they've just done wonders for our living room. They feel so fresh and alive with their sort of little movement in the ruffle, and we've paired them with some other green and cream cushions, and I do think the whole look is very elegant. In and around my kitchen, we always have as much sort of timber as we can on show, really neutral, natural looks. And of course, we have decorated, again, with these beautiful arrangements by Neil Strain. We've put some cheese boards out, some really rustic cheese boards out. And again, as much as we can to have open fruits showing, open vegetables, just displaying fruits and veg to make the kitchen feel less clinical and just more warm and inviting. I cannot forget to talk about, of course, the Le Creuset set that I have in this gorgeous burgundy that was perfect and my Christmas gift for this December. There is nothing I love more than a really good quality cooking pot at Christmas time. And I think Le Creuset beats them all. And this burgundy set that I have is just fabulous. They are the best to cook with, and to me, they look the best. For my star and final piece for the festivities, it is, of course, the dining area. And this year, my Christmas tree is just by the dining area, so I'm very proud to be able to sort of talk about that all in one go. Again, sticking to this really neutral theme, I wanted to still make it feel glitzy enough. So on the main table, I've got these gorgeous flowers that were arranged by Paul Thomas. They really have the most elegant and eloquent flowers. They're the absolute perfect gift at Christmas or honestly any time throughout the seasons. So this year I've stuck with the Parkland collection by Wedgwood. I think it is one of the most elegant sets I have ever bought. They are such a unique set, and yet they have this sort of timeless beauty about them. And so I really do love to use them in December, but again, throughout the year. The fact that they have this sort of taupish color means that they really would work with any theme, absolutely any time. So it's great to be able to have those. I've then layered those up this year with these lovely linen crackers that have been embroidered with the personal initials of all of our guests. And they've been done as crackers with these really lovely velvet bows either side. Now, to me, this is such a beautiful additional touch to any table, and I think nothing beats this look. It's going to be hard to do something so special for every single one of your guests or family members. You can choose the embroidery color, you can choose the embroidery style, so there's a lot that you can do within that. I love a little ruffle at the end, but you can go with or without, so it just depends on the look you're going for. I also love to layer up with really tall slimline candles and my gorgeous hammered metal candle holders. And this year we've gone for a really dark green just to complement all of those neutral colors on the table. The cushions. So I think this was the final sort of wow piece to the table, because I don't necessarily know that you could do the ruffled cushion on every occasion, but I think with Christmas, if you are going to go all out, then, this is the moment to do it. Finally, on the table, we've got these really beautiful Christoffel knives and forks, and I was actually recently gifted this by my mother-in-law. It is so special. It was something that she was gifted when she got married, and in fact, they only ever used them once, and she just sort of kept it stored away for, the best of the best occasions, and then didn't end up using them. I was so grateful to have this set, and they are just such an additional sort of elevated look to the whole table. There is something about a Christoffel set that is just like nothing else. Okay, now for the final star of the show, we've got the Christmas tree. I think I did a very similar look last year, I have to say, and I'm a big one for reusing whatever you had last year. I'm not big on, going out and buying new decorations every single year. Last year I did buy a new set of these beautiful, beautiful Fortnum & Mason small baskets, small rattan baskets, which I think look fantastic with the whole sort of rustic neutral look. Again, I didn't think I needed to go out and get new decorations, and the tree honestly looks fabulous, and I loved it last year and I love it this year. Maybe next year we'll buy some new decorations, but I like to think that if I'm still in love with all of my decorations and still in love with the tree, then I'm keeping it. My tree this year, again, because we do go away around Christmas time, is a faux tree. It's from Balsam Hill. I do think they have the absolute best trees, and it really feels very bushy puffy and full, so I absolutely love it. And I also love the fact that I don't have to pick up all the pine needles, they're called, when they fall down. And look, there is nothing like a real tree and the smell of a real tree and bringing it home. But I think, you know, you've got to be thoughtful about your particular situation. We do go away in December, so, you know, it makes sense for us to be able to put that away. Under the tree, we have our star gifts. Now, I love to wrap, I mean, I don't love to wrap, but I love the look of wrapped gifts under a tree. Now, I don't have all of my gifts as early as this because they do start to sort of collect close to Christmas time, and it does look a little bit messier as it gets to Christmas because it gets a bit more full with everyone bagging their different coloured gifts underneath the tree. But at the moment, it looks very classy. We've gone for these dark green wrapped gifts, and I love the fact that we wrapped some with this really luscious silky ribbon and then used another ribbon on different gifts where we've got this Hessian ribbon on the others. And that, my friends, is the full festive home tour. I hope you have enjoyed this. We love decorating our home, but I love even more that I get to share that with you guys. If you have not subscribed already, please do, and I can't wait to see you next time.